Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?
Hammer gang. Cause we always hit the nail on the head. So what you just seen right there, that was the last most memorable game between Miami and the Duke Blue Devils. This is Miami versus Duke week. Let's get into it, man. Let's go. Now, it do date back to 2015, the controversial 8 lateral touchdown for the go-ahead win for the Miami Hurricane. This was a very close game that came down to it, and in dramatic fashion, the Hurricanes won. Now, in this game, we don't need none of this. We don't need it to be close. We don't need no dramatic fashion win. We don't need this game to be close at all. Duke has been taking L's all season. As a matter of fact, their losses, they have 7 losses. They won 2 games to both question opponents. One against Syracuse, who is looking horrible. They're practically the worst team in the ACC. Now, Duke, bottom of the barrel in the ACC, but they have beaten the Miami Hurricane the past 2 meetings. So we do not need this to be one of those episodes. But let's get straight into it. Well, let's take a look at some of these Duke losses, okay? Now, their first game of the season, they lost this game to the number 2 team in the country right now, Notre Dame. The score was 27-13. Now, Duke hung in there for the most, but for the most of the rest of the season, it's been ups and downs, well, mostly downs for Duke. To follow that game up, they took a 20-point beating by the hands of Boston College. So Duke started the season off at 0-2. And of course, to follow that whooping, they get another one on top of that. 38-20, a nice beatdown by the hands of the Virginia Cavaliers. And to follow that beating up, they take another beating at the hands of Virginia Tech. Now, this game was a lot more closer, 38-21, but yet another loss, starting the season off at 0-4. But the next week came along, and Duke finally got their first win of the season. They beat Syracuse 38-24, a nice convincing win, So it can only go up from there, right? Wrong. They lose the next game to NC State, 31-20, 11 points. Now, these aren't horrible wins. Well, some of them. But it can only go up from there, right? Right. They beat Charlotte 53-19. Now, this game normally probably would be in the beginning of the season as a warm-up for Duke. Duke is normally the warm-up, but Charlotte would be a warm-up for Duke. Let's just say that. But following Charlotte, they go and lose 56-24 to North Carolina. Now, North Carolina is no pushover, but it is what it is. When you're competing in the ACC, you will have to deal with teams like Notre Dame, North Carolina, and of course, coming soon, the Miami Hurricanes. But we're not there yet. They go on to play Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech ends up beating Duke, putting up another 56. They lost, 56-24 to North Carolina. Then another 56 points they gave up to Georgia Tech, scoring only 33 points. So Duke has been taking L's, and they've been taking them pretty well. What do I expect from the Miami Hurricanes in this game? Now, Duke seemed to be a turnover machine this season. Now, I'm expecting some turnover chains, whether it's fumbles or interceptions. Duke's quarterback has thrown 13 interceptions this season. 13. He's only thrown 9 touchdowns. He's throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. He lost 4 fumbles. So I'm expecting some turnovers from Miami in this game. Now, ESPN predict Miami to actually win this game. Now, you know ESPN is not a big fan of Miami, but Miami is an 84% chance, call it 85%, you know, these little percentage or whatever, you know, round up, round down, whatever it is, what it is. You can call it 84, you can call it 85. But Miami is a 84.6 chance of winning this game, according to ESPN Match Predictor. We don't really go by that, you know. You know, they normally pick us to lose. But Chase, Bryce, he's not it. It's plain and simple. This season, he is not it. Compared to De'Aaron King, he's pretty close in yardage, but got to keep it in mind, they have played one more game than Miami has. I do expect De'Aaron King to light him up in this game. Now, running-wise, they do have a little advantage in that department over Cameron Harris. Mateo, he's getting it done. Mateo is getting it done. Mateo Durant, that's their running back. So far on the season, he has 7 touchdowns for 642 yards. He's doing a little bit better than Cam. But like I said, keep in mind, they do have one game over Miami. They've played 9. Miami has played 8. And last but not least, their number one go-to guy when it comes to receiving, Jake Bobo. I'm laughing because I swear to you, I'm expecting a total domination, total blowout. I'm saying it straight up, blowout. A lot of you going to say, don't sleep on Duke. Miami should not sleep on any teams. I'm not sleeping on Duke. Duke has slept on Duke the whole season. So if Miami goes in there and this is a close game, it's not going to be a good look. We're not going to earn any style points with the committee, you know, the playoff rankings or whatever. And then on top of that, we have a New Year's Six Bowl that all we have to do is win out and we will be there. So whoever we meet up there, I'm pretty sure they will not be of the caliber of a Duke or all the other teams that we've had close games with. Let's just say that. But I'm expecting a total blowout. Now, some factors that might goes into this. Players out from COVID. Team hasn't practiced, or, you know, we don't know how they've been doing or whatever. But I'm still expecting, with the talent that Miami has and the product that Duke has been putting on the field, I do expect they win in this game. And I do expect it in dominant fashion. T2y! T2y! What is your score prediction? I got Miami winning this game 47-13. That is my score prediction for this game. 47-13. Miami gets it done. Blowout fashion. Come home. It is what it is. If I'm totally wrong, let me know in the comment section. If you know a Duke fan, nobody knows a Duke fan. Well, basketball.